tall, so not the biggest barbarian, but I'm jacked.
It's a hair and braids.
What if we put it in 2 braids and then we wrapped it around and then we gave on the flowers, sticking them, and then what if we did this?
Another drink, please.
Yes, you may. And he goes over.
Put your hands up. It's better.
No. Saving roll me a Constitution saving throw. Yes, you. I'm gonna fight you.
He's sort of you guys know who I am, right?
Yeah. Goggles.
You're Dr. Mole.
Robot. Dr. Robot.
What do you do?
Take a moment to try to stop laughing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one.
Why not? It worked again.
Hating on Batman.
I don't hate Batman for the record. I hate the fandom of Batman.
Oh, cool. Okay,
That's the
that's
issue.
way more people.
It is. It's
To
a
hate.
lot like actual human beings.
Were you gonna?
You need to rub this crap off your neck and not smell like me, or I will fail. Just start rubbing his neck and just getting like.
I am fairly
urine.
certain it doesn't matter what I smell like at this point.
To a feline, you have wolf's piss on you.
I'm just gonna point at my feline eyes.
I have some time.
You've just tuned in. We had the brilliant idea while we were fishing at the Dark Moon Festival.
Oh, jeez.
To do a dungeon with fishing poles equipped. Because why not? And so we drank all of the alcohol in our bags, and we equipped our fishing poles and our aquatic pets, and we went to do a dungeon.
I feel like I need to close out. So this was the end of our epic tale. What holds for next week as the heroes set sail? We may find more family, we may find where things start. All we know is to follow our hearts. So our heroes set forth to pillage and to wander in the magical continent of wonder. We have one more question. I hope to not blunder. Question for you, dear friends. Do you wonder? Thank you, guys. Indigo Connect. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is. What night is it? It's Thursday night. It's time for little Dungeons and Dragons as we return back to the Lost Isle. I've got a few announcements before we get started with tonight's game. First off, thank you, Atavistics, for subscribing and giving me this real cool Santa emo. It's called the Ha-Ha-Lean. So thank you there. We have a Discord. Come and hang out with us on a Discord. We've got we've got an inspiration channel on there. We've got a channel where you can keep up to date with the latest schedules going on here on the channel. We've also just got a place where you can hang out and talk with people and find support for dungeon mastering your own game or game mastering your own game. So, and we've got a homebrew channel, which is worth its weight in gold. So please come and hang out with us. We'd love to have you. We also have a merch store. Texas is on it with her finger on the button. This cool merch store has cool stuff like mugs and t-shirts and shower curtains and stuff like that helps support the brand. And it always makes me happy when I see a Karma in the wild. So we have some brand new designs with the D20 logo that you've seen with the Karma's tail wrapped around it. So check that out. We also have an online store where you can up your digital avatar, your Twitch avatar, with cool items, including necklaces and coins. And it's just another wonderful way that you can help us keep the lights on here. And, of course, as always, something that we offer is stream points. You'll see that little picture of the Karma at the bottom. And you can click on that to earn points to affect the game in positive ways. Granting your favorite players a +5 or a potion or a magical item, or if you're certain individuals becoming deified. So save up those points and become a deity in the realm of your choice. I see Meowth shaking her head in concern. It's cutting edge merch. Thank you, Alcaboose Bender. Whoever created that design is probably very handsome. Thank you all so much for your support. Upcoming schedule. It's going to get a little wonky, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey this week with New Year's Eve. Tomorrow night we actually get to go back to Neverland. I'm really excited. It's been a while. We've been off for like a whole week, and we ended on a cliffhanger. So some of us have been chomping at the bit to get back into it. We have a brand new guest star, which I'm very excited to have sit at the table. She's never been at our table before. Her name is Meg, and she has created a character that I'm very excited to introduce to you, and a part of me is also upset because I didn't have this idea, and I should have had the idea. It's so good that a part of me is like, of course you can play this, and then another part of me is like, why didn't I come up with this? So tune in for that tomorrow night in Neverland. Saturday, we don't have anything going on. Sunday, I don't think we have anything going on. Monday, yeah, we're clear on Monday as well. Tuesday, we normally have Wonder, but it's New Year's Eve. It's a big chunk of time that we've got nothing going on. But Thursday, we're going to kick things back off with the Lost Isle.
I just thought.
What was your thought?
I'm going to not be here on that Thursday.
You're not going to be here on that Thursday. You're going to be in transit.
Flying the friendly skies at about that time, yeah.
All right. So, because of that, we will be missing Turk, but we'll talk about it a little more. Any changes to the schedule, any surprise streams that we do, you can always check the Discord and find something right there. So stay tuned for that. I think I'm going to put a homebrew and brew with you in there, just because I've got some stuff tinkering around upstairs, and I would love to get all of your creative minds on it, including some magical items for these guys when they when they put their token in the Fantasy Gashapon. So, all right, I think that's it for schedule. I think that's it for announcements. Once upon a time in the Lost Isle, the group of adventurers found themselves in a precarious situation with Bob on the island proper. Their basic operations bot, their new friend that they found walking in the water, found themselves on the shores of the island and claiming to have a nuclear bomb in his chest. The group sprung into action. Jay and Lorathel went running back to the island proper to start researching to see if there was any ways to defuse the bomb, and the rest of the group took Bob to this brand new island, this brand new Monterey, California, off the island, where the future had arrived. They discovered many, many different societies, and I encourage you all to watch that episode. We have it on demand. But they discovered this civilization beneath the city, nicknamed the Nest, which had become a safe ground for all those that needed it. And they met a young girl by the name of Roach, who is essentially one of the coolest characters that Indigo Chameleon has ever created, and I stole liberally. She also appeared in the first episode that Bob ever appeared in. It made sense. Roach is this little girl that controls the small army of roaches and is just caked in dirt. The group has discovered that whoever planted the bomb in Bob is probably one of two factions that would gain the most from destroying the Nest. And that is the gun and drug runners of the Row and the scrappers, those that deal with scrapping humans for spare parts and selling them on the black market and selling those parts to the highest bidder. So the team has discovered all of this as we get into the late afternoon, early evening. Heroes, what would you like to do? Well, don't all speak at once. Take your time. How about this? It does get a little bit later. Food is prepared on the grill, not too far away. The energy's a little quiet after William has declared, has asked for a map and looked for the spots in which these places could get marked. There's an odd sense of social change. The only one who seems unaffected by the choices that the group is going to have to make is Roach, who it just sort of walks around the space. Occasionally, she will walk past where the grill is and take a little bit of the meat and that's being cooked and pop it into her mouth. Yeah, and continue to tinker on this small owl. Just holding it in her hands. There's her hands moving about. At one point, she drops a tool on the ground, but she does not break stride. She simply whistles, and a flurry of roaches crawls out of her pant leg, picks up the tool, walks it along the ground, brings her the tool back, and then scurries back into her pants leg. Good evening, Ginger Sheep and Hellspawn.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right. So at this point, we got to stop this thing from going off, and we got to figure out the what we think is the most likely way to do it. Right?
Well, we've got two researching it back in the island. However, we need to tell them the difference. A nuclear bomb, it's an EMP blast.
Well, if any of this stuff is magical, I can take it out. I just can't really identify it. So that's going to take somebody else's skills
Can
that I
you
don't
detect
have.
it?
I can't detect it, but I can get rid of it real good. So
Any of you detect magic?
well, don't everybody see it once.
You notice. Kiara.
So one can. So Kiara can. Yes.
Kiara,
No.
deep in thought, shakes her head yes in the affirmative as her mouth is filled with food and does not wish to spray it anywhere. But she nods her head that she can indeed detect magic.
Okay. So
Is this
if we were to do that now,
is this conversation being held in the open, or is this tucked away somewhere? Did you guys find a small alcove? Or are you just speaking full volume amidst this group of people?
No, I think we would have found a place where we can be a little tucked away, because at this point it seems magic is a little wonky here as far as kind of what's accepted and what's not.
Okay.
That, and they seem very baffled and mystified by the fact that some of us can do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yes, it would be shielded.
for the record, everything I do is sneaky.
Cool. Cool. Good to know. I'm gonna have you make a lot more stealth checks.
And then
do we need to check with Larathel and
Well, that is my plan. Like, at some point, we're going to have to go back to tell them, but I wanted to get everything either started here on what you guys are going to do, and I'll go back because I got to be there for an appointment anyway.
I'd just like to figure out if this thing that's inside Bob is more of a magical effect or a technological effect. If it's a magical effect, we can shut it down right now. If it's a technological effect, I mean, it's going to be harder for me to shut down, but it might be a lot easier for somebody else. Like, I don't know.
let's make with the detective magic-y.
Okay. I'd sit down and begin to cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
And that'll last for how long?
Let me check.
It's 10 minutes.
As
an hour.
Kiara does this is cast as a ritual, which means arcane symbols, which means lighting of candles, which means prolonged connection to the magic inherent in this ritual. As she does this, all heads in the space will turn. everyone will start. Some will pull out notebooks. Some of the mechanical constructs will turn and look, and you see their eyes looking about the space as these symbols are carved into the ground. You see the Gary in the group just sort of nodding his head, and he pulls out a tattered player's handbook that says 7th edition. And as he looks, he's studying this dog-eared copy and sort of looking at the circles and nodding his head and going, yes, yes, okay. But they all seem to be intent the minute that Kiara starts doing this.
Not sensing anything threatening, just
No,
intense
I mean,
interest going on.
Turk, give me an insight check, buddy. It's as you just turn and start studying the people around the group.
Where's Roach?
Perception, William.
That's going to be a 15 on my insight.
Turk, it doesn't look malicious, buddy. It honestly just looks like they've heard about this their whole life, and this is the first time it's manifested in any sort of way.
25 total.
25 total? Yeah, William scanned the space. Roach is the exact opposite of these people. She wants nothing to do with it. The minute Kiara starts channeling stuff and putting stuff into the ground and stuff like that, like, it becomes a little bit more visceral and real. And she has pushed herself as far back to the back wall, almost next to a little dumpster, whereas she continues to work on the small owl in her hands.
I'm going to take a look at the surroundings and see if I'm immediately needed for some kind of threat or potentially any other reason, and if not, gonna go hang out with Roach.
Do you, after a quick surveying of the area, like I said, it's up to you. Right now, it looks to be strictly academic and sheer
Focus, not
curiosity.
frenzy. Yeah. Okay.
Nobody's looking to draw or attack.
Cool.
And this ritual takes about 10 minutes for her to cast, right?
Yeah.
And that mirror that I was working on, that polished metal,
Yeah.
is it polished by now?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's shiny, it's clean, like it's probably the shiniest piece of metal in this area.
You mind if I go over with you, Cass?
Come on, what's up?
Okay.
And while they're doing that, I'm gonna load up my thinking set.
You're gonna load up your what?
Thinking set.
Okay. William takes a look around the room and then takes his thinking sack and puts it over his head and just kind of sits there, thinking sack over his head. Texas and Cass, as you head over this way, and William, you put on your thinking sack. Jay, we're gonna cut to you. You have done as much research as you can. As unfortunately, none of the magazines that you have that detail cars and motorcycles and appliances, not a lot of them have information about nuclear bombs. However, Larathel, you managed to spend a little bit of time with her in the library, and you think you have the tools necessary, kinda. But even you are a little hesitant about, like, all right, who wants to be the one to cut the red wire? Like, not so fast, you know? So you've gathered up as much as you can, and you head towards the beach. Are you planning on waiting here until you hear back from them? Was the plan always to set forth and try to find them?
No, Mom always taught me to stay put if I'm lost, and so I was going to wait for either word or... something like that.
Sure. You just sort of sit. I imagine there's this area.
One thing I would like to do before I actually headed to the beach, if I could head into town.
Yeah.
With my newfound ability, I've just got an innate sense that I need to maybe go to the potions master and see if I can acquire some things.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can find. I don't think you guys have ever been here yet, have you?
Nope, the candy store we got unlocked though.
You did? You did go to the candy store and spend some time in the candy store. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you search around a little bit, Jay, and as you're just sort of scoping out the area, there's a few different places that sell magical goods. You're not lacking. However, there is a place that does specialize in potions, and and it's called Perry's Potion Place.
All right. I'll walk on into Perry's Potions Place.
You walk into Perry's Potion Place, and William just asked, "Hey, is it a platypus?" It's not a platypus, but you do see this like fish person. He's not a triton. He's not anything, but it's a Locatha. Like it's a Locatha. Like where it's just this fish person hanging out, and they're over. Like they've got these shelves that are all set up, but it only comes to about yay high, so that they can reach all of the shelves. But they're placing potions, and as you come in, like you see this turn towards you, and it's like, oh hey, what's up, dude?
Not much. Glug? Sorry.
What?
Nothing. Sorry. Wasn't expecting to see a fish.
Oh, no, man. I get that all the time, bro. It's all right.
Sorry.
Come in. And he walks over to you, and he, like, hugs your knees a little bit. He's like, let's get a feel.
Touching.
Let's get a feel for this aura. Let's see where your energy's at.
Oh.
And then he kind of backs up a little bit, and he's like, "All right, man, what can I do you for?"
I don't know. I've lost my train of thought.
Dude, that's all right. Good thing about trains is they run on a schedule, my dude. This one will come back. Just sit down, relax.
Potions. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, here's the good news. You're in the right place, my dude.
Oh, all right.
What kind of potions you looking for, man? What kind of crunchy herbs you need, bro?
Oh, it's okay. It's a dispensary. Gotcha.
No. I'm just saying, like, if you need potions, I got you.
Are you a cop?
Thanks. Hey there, children. Smoking the Mary Jane?
No, man, no. But I do have a potion for you. If you're looking to like expand your horizons a little bit, I got this one over here, and he like reaches down to a small area on the bottom shelf, and he's like, this is a cool potion. I kind of experiment with stuff sometimes, and it'll take your senses and turn them up to 11, and they only go to 10, but this puts them at 11.
I've got a buddy who would like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we all have a buddy.
Healing potions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I got healing potions. What kind are you looking for? Are you looking for like bottom tier, like I stubbed my toe, I got stabbed in the shoulder, or like they just canceled Firefly, man? Like those are the 3 tiers.
Well, I mean, I'll take
I need to
anything
cancel
I can afford.
Firefly one. That's to the soul.
Which kind are you looking for, man?
I don't know. I don't know how much money I have. I don't think I have any money.
Oh. This got real
Awkward.
sad. You know this is like a store, bro. Like
right.
I gotta live.
I can trade you an old axe that I have.
Yeah, man. I probably can't use that.
Bartering services.
Well, hey, man. Can I ask you a personal question?
Well, sure. Anything, I guess.
Can you like get on my level though? Can you like crisscross applesauce it?
I do the best that I can.
Yeah. You try to crisscross applesauce, and he kind of like gets close on your level, and he's like, "Are you part of that group, dude? Are you part of that group?"
Yeah, the one with the sword. Yeah.
Hey, man, maybe you can help me out in a different way. I need Perry. That's me. Like, my potion place could use a little bit of a bump, bro. What if I gave you some merch, and you wore that merch, and you just are like, if you want some crunchiness, if you want some good potion, you go to Perry's. And we work on like a sponsorship deal.
So you know what? I would be happy to be your sponsor.
Yeah, man. This is great.
Do you got a patch or something I can wear on my clothes?
Oh, no,
or?
man. No, I got something better than a patch, dude. And Perry will hop down and sort of run back behind the counter, and you see him like going through stuff. Perry comes out, and he's got like, you want shorts or you want a shirt?
Oh, let's go with the shirt.
Yeah, man. What size are you?
I used to be a XL, but I don't know anymore.
Yeah, man, XL's not gonna cut it. I got you. And he like runs back behind the counter. He comes out. He's holding this giant shirt. It is the most tie-dyed shirt like you've ever seen in your entire life. It's got Perry's logo on it, and it's just Perry's logo is just a picture of Perry, like two little fishy thumbs up, and like. Perry's Potions, he's like, just do me a favor, man. When you're on the island, you're kicking it, you're wearing this shirt, and people will know.
I can do that.
Sweet, bro. Sweet. And he hands you the shirt, and he's like, here you go, man. And he hands you he's going to go ahead and hand you a greater healing potion. And then he's going to be like, don't tell anybody I did this, man. This is one of my experimentals, bro.
Thanks.
Ask me what it does.
What does it do?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. Like, you're gonna have to like pop the top, take a chug, and let nature show you what you need.
Oh God.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, man. All right. Good luck.
Thanks, Perry.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Are you gonna leave?
Yeah, the crew needs me.
You go, and I'm gonna stay right here.
Oh my God.
And he nods his head. And walks you over to the door. And just sort of opens the door.
Oh man.
Thanks, Perry.
Welcome. There is Perry walks over to the sign, and you look as you walk away from the store, and you kind of turn your head back, and Perry waves, and he like points up, and you see a little bit of arcane energy leave, and it's got Perry's like sign out front, and it says J Shop's here, and it just says that in letters. So it's like, and then he yells, Jay.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
That was cool.
I love it, man.
All right. Gonna go do things. Bye.
Bye, man. And he goes back in the store. You head back towards the beach. Your greater healing potion on your person, and an experimental crunchy potion on your side. When you drink it, please let me know.
I'm scared for you, buddy.
I will roll my D20, and we will figure out what this bad boy does.
Scared for you.
Sweet. We head back to the rest of the group. Kiara and is there completing the ritual. William is not too far behind. Turk is there with Wolf. Cass and Texas, you've made your way over to where Roach is, over off to the side by this little dumpster.
And as we were walking over, I was going to ask Texas. She's got the shiny thing in her hand. I was like, well, what you got there?
She's also muted.
You're muted, darling. That looked like expletives.
It was not. I was being good. All right. So before I tried cleaning her up, but I didn't really explain what I was doing beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd explain it a little more and see if she wanted some help. I mean, it seemed like a nice thing I could do, but it seemed like something that I probably should have said something before I did it.
Oh, so you're gonna give her a bath?
Well, not like a bath. I mean, I haven't really seen a whole lot of running water down here, in bathtubs, but you know, I didn't realize the whole magicy thing they got going on. Like that's a potential issue. But I figure I could help, right?
Sure. And you think a shiny piece of metal is gonna help her?
Well, it's a mirror.
Oh, sweetie. And I'm gonna dig in my bag and pull out a really pretty plastic compact mirror and just hand it to her.
Well, I didn't realize you had one of these.
That's okay. But in case you want her to be able to like see you really, and then maybe she can keep the nice one that you made her. I don't know.
Oh, this is just a reflective surface. But I mean, we're both going over there together. Why don't you just bring the mirror?
Oh, sure. But
I mean,
you did so much work on it.
On mine?
Yeah.
I just cleaned it up a bit, and she can have it. I mean, we can use it for anything.
Okay, let's go. I don't really want to bathe her. She seems pretty comfortable in her dirt, but power to you.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly what I had in mind, but let's just go.
Texas and Cass, you guys head over to Roach, and as she sort of picks her head up, and as she does, she holds out the owl to you as you make your approach over.
To Texas?
Yeah, over to Texas. I think I fixed it.
Oh, thank you. Does it fly?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I also added a self-destruct button.
Is it an obvious button?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to accidentally self-destruct the beautiful owl you just made.
No, he's got to hit it. You can't touch it.
Who's got to hit it?
The owl?
It can think?
The owl can self-destruct?
Yeah.
Why would the owl want to self-destruct?
I don't know, like if it was going to get eaten by something or like swallowed up, or if it was going to be like used for parts by a scavenger.
Okay.
Oh.
And you're confident in this owl ability to make this decision?
Yeah, I separated him from the network, so he'll be able to log on, but they just won't be able to influence how he like thinks and stuff.
Well, that's extremely useful. You are very good at what you do.
Huh. I didn't realize you could separate things from the network.
It takes a lot. The bigger the thing is, the harder it is to do. But once they get connected, like they start losing little bits of themselves.
So that means that you could theoretically disconnect Bob from the network?
I mean, yeah, probably. But he's big. He's connected to the network, and he's like super connected. These are like little animals. The familiars are just conduits to the searches.
Okay, but if he had a part that got added onto him that could do a lot of damage, do you think that you might be able to at least
possibly
deactivate that aspect of him?
Yeah.
If it were non-magical?
It might go off, but probably.
That's not good. Is there any place here, other than underneath your roaches, that you don't get signal or connection to the network? Because of whatever reason? I figured you'd know if anybody knew, because you're like
persuasion check.
14 plus 4. 18, please.
18. She looks at you and she's like, she thinks about it for a second. She's like, there are some parts of the comic book shop that are like the reception's really bad.
Like no reception? Like I'm
it's just
taking
small.
a test in one of my classes and they decide to block everybody's cell phone?
No. I mean, it's just really bad in certain spots.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
Weird. Okay.
I have an idea if Roach thinks she might be able to disconnect this. I mean, it's a little risky, but I think it has a lot of potential. I can create a dome. It's about 10 feet wide, and magic can't get through it. But it's a dome of force. Nothing else should be able to get through it either. That thing in Bob is not going to affect Roach at all. She's one of the few people other than us that are here that are not going to get affected by it at all. So if we're in there with her and she's working on Bob and Bob accidentally goes off, it shouldn't affect anyone else but him.
Wait, would this hurt Bob?
If it goes off, but if it goes off anyway, I mean, if we can't stop it, it's going to hurt him.
Oh,
it's
hey,
going to
wait.
hurt him and everybody else here.
Do you have a way to like back up your phone numbers, like a SIM card, but like Bob? Does that make sense?
Like backup Bob?
Yeah,
like a backup Bob.
I mean, she like looks over. She like takes her hand up, like as you guys are having this conversation. She takes her hands up and she flips it up, and the dumpster lid flops open, and you just see like 9 or 10 Bobs, like in the dumps. Like you see like a whole bunch of it. She's like, I mean, there's no way to back him up because no one's ever needed to. Bob's like me, like he's disposable.
Oh, honey, no. We can't have you thinking like that. Need you to get you on Tumblr.
Okay.
He's got his own personality, and if we could just give him a backup so that if we lose the bot that he's in, we can bring him back.
She will sort of nod her head, and you hear Kiara getting to the pitch of like finishing the spell, and she sort of nods at you two, and she's like, "Let me see what I can do," and she takes an arm up and just sort of stretches it like against the dumpster, and as it does, a bunch of the roaches crawl out from the sleeves, and just swarm into the dumpster. And you hear them and see them chittering away at this collection of basic operation bots. Like,
are any of them lingering towards the edge of the dumpster, like within, like just walk up and look at them range?
The roaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are they all working?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're just.
Can I
sort
just
of,
like kind of like peek, look closely?
Give me an investigation check.
Absolutely. 18.
Yeah. What do you? The roach is very roachy.
You said they look like they might be mechanical, but we're not sure.
Some of them have little tiny. It looks like random chips, like little tiny chips, or like silver spray paint, or the illusion is not detailed because it doesn't need to be. This is something in passing you'd see a flash of silver here, or you'd see a tiny mechanical part. You'd see these little tiny things, but as you look at this particular roach, you don't see anything beyond, probably this one has its wing that looks like it's been replaced with a bit of like transparent or translucent material. But the roach continues to move on, and you see this the same for a bunch of the roaches, like a tiny flash of metal here, a bit of silver spray paint here.
Okay, I'm gonna back up because bugs are gross, and just tell Roach if she's within earshot, I like your robots, and then kind of move out of the way.
Yeah, she like nods at you, and then her eyes go a little misty, like literally, as you see her eyes going a little like white. You don't know what it is as Roach begins to, as the roaches begin to pour into the dumpster. Little tiny Roach's eyes go a little misty. Hang on to that thought. As Turk, William, what are you doing with this? As Kiara's ritual is about to end.
Just planning ahead.
Yep.
Nothing's.
Turk would be kind of exploring Wolf right now. He's a little concerned about his last interaction with Wolf.
Yeah, you're at ground level, and Wolf is there, but Wolf is not responding in his voice very much. Like, it's still there, but Wolf is responding with odd responses. What do you ask him?
Well, first contact, and I would be asking, is this all mental on my part? The communication that's going back and forth between us?
If you'd like.
I was just wondering how he was responding.
Depends. If you're vocalizing towards him, he's going to respond in a particular way. If you're telepathically bonding with him, he's going to respond in a different way.
Right now, I'd be working telepathically, and if he's responding, then fantastic. And I say, so, how are you doing there, Wolf?
I am fine.
Can you tell me your current functions?
My current functions are to connect you to the larger network.
And are you connected then to the larger network right now?
I am.
Do you have any other functions beyond connection to the network?
Protection of the user.
And how would you respond to protect me if my life were in danger?
Attack those that are attacking the user.
So connecting me to the larger network, what all can you see right now?
You have a telepathic bond with him, right?
I do.
What do you see right now, buddy? And Wolf turns his head to look at you. And as he does, he projects in your mind exactly what he sees. Turk, you are standing in a black room that stretches out for infinity, and then a singular thread extends from where you are out to join millions upon billions upon billions upon billions of other threads, leading everywhere. Small windows pop up as you trace your thread to this larger connection. Information about past events throughout time. You do a quick search of Turk, your name, and you see little information pop up about when you got married, how many people were at your wedding, your death, how you died, the coroner's report. Then you find information leading off into movies and arts and entertainment, and it is just one thread connected to a multi-network information center.
I'm guessing I am pretty overwhelmed at this moment.
You pull back from Wolf. You break your connection with you break your connection, and as you do, Wolf turns to look at you and just sort of nods his head.
Okay, processing the information and actually trying to forget some of the things I saw.
It flashed too fast for you to pay any real attention to it.
Okay. Yeah. Total Johnny Mnemonic moment here.
Yeah. You take a little bit of time to do that. Kiara, your spell completes. As it does, once again, your ability to detect magic all about you is activated, and you begin to look about the space. Are you looking at Bob in particular?
Yes, I'd like to look at Bob, and then also just kind of like get close enough so that Roach is in range.
Okay.
Because I have question marks everywhere.
Sure. Welcome to a new school of magic called Technomancy. Technomancy manifests itself as a different form completely. There are individuals about the space that are moving about that seem faintly connected. Anyone with a familiar, the familiar is positively glowing with technomancy. It's magic, but it's not. It's connected to a technological form, like but it is radiating this technomancy. Does that make sense? Yes. As you turn to look at Bob, Bob is shimmering with that same technomancy, but Bob is glowing like a Christmas tree that's connected to 100 batteries. Like Bob is glowing like the Statue of Liberty. Out of everybody in this area, Bob is you almost have to turn away and squint your eyes as Bob is radiating technomancy. You catch faint glimmers of necromantic energy, magic energy, and most importantly, where Bob's head is at, you catch abjuration magic. just right here. There's one central spot right at the top of the head that is just a font of abjuration magic.
Okay.
Okay. Roach has no technomancy magic to her. She is one of the only beings, if not the only being in this area that is not connected with technomancy. She has no items on her that are radiating magic of any sort. However, I will grant you this, Kiara, because you're so connected to it. Roach is a druid.
Okay.
You see a little bit of the earth, whatever energies are there, leaching up and surrounding her. You've recognized this site before. She doesn't even know what it means. She has no idea. You realize that she's casting a very faint, very powerful, at the same time, version of insect swarm.
Gotcha.
And these roaches are drawn to her because of her druidic nature.
Okay.
It clicks in your head that there's a possibility as to why Evie is so fiercely protective over this little one.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I know that I can see a lot of technomancy, and then there's Weird Bob. But do I see any other, like, items or anything at all?
In the space?
Yeah.
Gary's packing. Evie's got some like a couple of little magical items, but the only other one in the space is the Gary is what I'm referring to him as. He carries at his side a book. It's the player's handbook, and that's radiating conjuration, evocation, and things of that sort. It's hard to class him. Like he's got a book. He's also got a small. I was very proud of this. He's got a joystick that's like strapped to his side.
Listen, let's not talk about Pops that way, okay?
Is it like an Atari joystick?
It is an Atari joystick, and it's got
Perfect.
It's also got evocation and conjuration.
Okay.
You realize this might be a joystick of Magic Missile Command.
Destiny.
Gotcha.
Magic Missile Command.
Okay. I love that. That is beautiful. Okay.
Do you communicate that to us?
I would after we all group back up again, since we're all kind of spread out a little bit.
It gets a little on into the evening, and Kiara would pull you aside, Texas.
And what about the stuff with Wolf?
I'm actually thinking of taking another dive inside and asking a couple questions.
Okay, have you communicated, or did she look over at him and communicate any of this stuff about him being connected to the network? Or could we intuit this by now?
Wolf hasn't said anything. Or Turk hasn't expressed to you all that Wolf is acting weird. I would say that you might have an idea that he was, but
we probably wouldn't know
Turk
yet.
has not said at all to anyone that, like, hey, even a simple, like, Wolf's acting a little weird, like he's not himself, or like, but to you, Wolf is acting the exact same that he always has. He's just tied to Turk at the hip and looking around and
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then the second we're all back together, and she communicates the stuff that she saw, I'm going to say, I have an idea, and it's a little risky, but I think it's less risky than a lot of our other ideas, and it could happen a lot faster. I could create that little tiny hut that we talked about, that little field of force, and we could go inside it, and we can work on, she can work on, Roach can work on trying to disconnect this bomb, but I can also work on trying to dispel the magic if there's a magic component to it. Because I feel like that's the priority, and that should block him off from everything else. If he goes off, hopefully we'll have a backup, because we're gonna ask her to work on a backup for him. But if that works, it doesn't solve the whole problem, because the same group, whoever it was that started this, can just come back and do it all over again. So the second part of the problem is we need to figure out who did this in the first place. But if he doesn't go off, they're going to come after him. So as long as we stick close, that group of people should come to us, and then we can deal with it. But at least we're getting rid of the initial problem before it hurts anyone else.
We have to solve what's immediately in front of us first.
Right.
I'm gonna take my sack.
William, give me a couple of intelligence rolls at advantage. I'm actually going to give you, because you had that sack on so long, I'm going to give you something I've never done before. I'm going to give you an intelligence roll at triple advantage.
What?
So
What?
you're going to roll
There's no such thing.
3d20. You're going to add your int. You're going to give me the highest that you roll.
Now you can't tell me there's no such thing as that anymore.
3, a 19, and a 20.
And that's 20?
Yikes.
Yep.
Everybody.
So it was a 3, a 19, and a.
Everybody, take your headsets off. Can you guys hear me? Hey, William, you put the sack on, and you spend a little bit of time, and the broad expanse of your mind is laid out in front of you, and it looks a lot like your room back at the behind the area, and you see things as bits of paper, almost as if you're campaign planning. You're hearing classical music. You don't know what this sack has done, but it's given you access to the place you feel the smartest, the most safe. Your room, your place, and you're looking at the wall and you're seeing these pictures of this, and something hits you, William. This is a good module. Like, this is a good game. The factions, Bob, these two groups coming in, like them each possibly having a say in this. This is a good setup. Does that make sense? Like it almost is too good.
Pre-designed.
Somebody, possibly. You're not sure. It's going to take some more time. You're still going to have to dig. But one of the groups could be playing the other group. Like, there could be something else going on here, but there's something else behind the scenes. It's too neat of a package. You got the bad guys and the good guys. You do realize that you need to get Jay. You need to get his insight into this, because the group is not whole. Okay?
Got it.
You guys are good. Come back. You guys are good. Put those headsets back on. Yeah, there you go. Unmute yourselves if you're able to. Cool. Yeah. You watch as William takes the sack off his head, and he looks infinitely smarter as he is de-sacked and ready for action.
That was a ballsy move. That's all I can say.
And you go to the back of the bus. I see what you did there. You're now at the back of the bus.
The alarm on your watch goes off, William, as you realize that you need to be making your way to dinner, should you so choose.
Okay, real quick, let me check in with the guys. I'm going to be going back to the island. I'm going to relay the information that we know. Did you guys pick up anything additional? Any of you? Whether it was weird, odd, important, fantastic, horrific, anything. Did anybody pick up anything while I was in my thinking?
Bob has abjuration magic in his frontal cortex.
Bob does.
Yes.
Anything about the bomb area?
Well, I don't know exactly where on Bob the Bomb is, but I can tell you that there's abjuration magic in his frontal cortex and that there's some other magics in him, and that we are in a world that has technomancy, which is not a magic that I'm familiar with.
It's good that I am. Okay, anybody else?
Have I had chance to get back with Wolf at all?
I will say this: as you take the thinking sack off, Turk is where Wolf is and puts a hand forward. Wolf, Turk, give me a. This is gonna get real confusing. Turk, give me a Constitution saving throw.
15 plus. Oh, I went off my. Sorry, hit the wrong button. I rolled a 15. Okay. I'm looking up my bonuses.
You are able to stay on your feet a little bit longer as once again the entirety of the internet opens in front of you and the connection of all beings and all creatures. What are you looking for in particular?
I asked Captain Randall, do you have any information on Captain Randall?
Great. You send out this thought into the internets. Hey, Captain Randall, looking for anything about the captain or Captain, and sure enough, you see a small shockwave exit out from you as this ping goes out to the universe, to the internet, as you are mixing the telepathic nature of the band with connection to the internet, and you just send out a Captain Randall. After a little bit of time, oh, this is so good, buddy.
We're gonna have a long talk.
After a little bit of time, a pair of eyes opens up in front of you, almost as if you're looking at a view screen, and you see Captain Randall sitting in a long back chair. Next to him is a woman with red hair, which constantly changes from red, and then all of a sudden it's blue, and then it's pink, and it seems to be running through this sequence of different colors. And he's sitting in this long back chair, and he takes a small pill, which looks like it's composed of lightning, and he flips the pill up in the air, and it kind of arcs and crackles a little bit, and he opens his mouth, and the pill goes in his mouth, and Captain Randall just sort of sits there, and then he stops, and he turns back, and his eyes take on the same appearance of that pill, that crackling bit of lightning and energy, and he stops, and he looks over in the corner where you're watching from like the floor level, and he walks over, and it's almost like as a giant, he bends down and picks something up, and he's looking at it, and you're looking at him, and he goes, "Hello there. Who the bloody hell are you?"
And I disconnect as whatever I can do to break connection.
Turk comes back, flying back out of whatever space he hits the ground, rolling back from Wolf, and just sort of lands on his butt. And I think we have to pull in Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. Like, he hits the ground, his eyes look up, and he's in this, like, looking up at the rest of the group, and it's is there a problem, officers? Like, he's just looking up at you guys, like.
Best Christmas movie ever.
Jay, another few hours goes by, and Larethel is, like, looking at her watch. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be back.
Yeah, but if that thing's nuclear...
I mean, technically, you could make your way over. Do you want to give it another hour?
I don't know. They could be in trouble. Something could be going on.
That's true. Do you have any way of communicating with them?
Other than my cell. Beyond that, I can't think of anything else.
All right. I definitely know what a cell is. I totally do. It's a spell that you cast.
Sure.
Let's wait a little bit of time. Can I ask another question while we wait?
Mm-hmm.
What's up with the shirt?
You know, we don't need to worry about the shirt right now.
Are you sure? I really want to talk about it.
I guess I've got a sponsor.
I honestly feel like pink and green and yellow and purple and red and blue and are all your color.
Appreciate it.
Brings out
I'm hoping it gets, burned the first time I get hit by a fireball or something. I don't know.
Oh no, not that shirt. It looks magically enchanted.
Mm-hmm.
And magically delicious.
I don't know. Do you think I should just go? I should wait. I don't know.
Hang on just a second. Let's give him a few more minutes.
All right.
We cut back to the other group.
So did that occur right before I asked? Did anybody find anything out?
I think the timing.
Right as I'm saying it.
Did anybody find anything else out? Boom.
Turk.
How is my mental capacity at the moment? Am I able to communicate? And
You're a little fried, but you're okay.
He's here.
What did you do?
He's here now.
What did you do?
I was just talking to Wolf, and apparently Wolf is like connected to the whole network here. It's kind of cool.
Texas, that's a go.
You
just know now.
Yeah, you mean that everything we've been saying is on the network? How long have you known about this?
She's gonna run up to Turk and put her finger in front of his mouth. Shoo. And see if we can walk away from Wolf.
Okay.
Does Wolf decide to follow Turk? Important question.
Can I use one of my intelligence checks at advantage?
You took the sack off.
Yes.
You putting the sack back on?
No, it said I get them for the rest of the...
Oh, true.
So the entire plan we just came up with is now on the network? That's what you're saying?
So, 17.
Okay. What is this intelligence check for?
For basically to understand what happened, what occurred based upon the interaction between the two of them.
I am willing to work with you in terms of intelligence checks, but you using an intelligence check to be like, I would like to use an intelligence check to figure out what all of this is.
Okay, no. What? No, I'm trying to figure out what Texas is saying, and then between what Turk said and them saying that he was connected to the internet, what the implications of that are.
You can attune that Wolf is connected to a larger network. Wolf is connected to the Force. It binds us. It connects us. Like for right now, Wolf for some reason is connected to this larger scale network. And Texas's fear, as she looks over at Wolf and Cass runs over and puts a hand up and moves everybody away, is that Wolf has eyes and ears that are just consistently broadcasting, like anything that he finds in this area, to this larger network.
Yeah, I got it as a out of game situation.
Now William knows this.
Sure that in game,
you are officially 10 minutes away from when you're supposed to be on the island.
All right.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I'm going to leave. I'm going to take this information. Do not let him connect to the Wolf again.
Okay.
Turk, you and I will have a talk later.
I don't think connecting to the Wolf is the main issue right now.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but don't do it again. would be good. I heard what you said. I know what you mean. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The roaches have
Hey,
saran wrap.
wait. How far away are we from Wolf?
You're far enough away. I'm giving you guys the benefit of a doubt that you walked away and you told Wolf to stay, and Wolf stayed.
Why don't you go with William back to the island?
Me?
And Wolf.
Hold on. Before
Can I come to dinner with you? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. Here's the thing.
Then why would I want to go back?
Hold on. Just hold your horses.
Because you can bring Jay with you.
I'll bring Jay back. But if Wolf comes back, if the wolf comes back to the island and it does not change and remains connected to the internet, that could be far worse. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do understand what you're saying, but I also know that there are powerful beings on the island that could probably take care of that particular situation.
If they were made aware of it first, possibly, but if we popped up at the same time.
Are you telling me if we go back through this membrane that Wolf's not turning back?
As Kiara says, there are powerful beings on the island, and William goes, yeah, but if they were made aware of it, and then all of you hear a hum. Just a faint hum, like somebody hit a wind chime that seems to emanate from Kiara's umbrella. As if to say, beings on the island are made aware of this. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. I will,
Can I roll insight on Cass understanding that?
I will, like,
Double
hold up my
watch.
umbrella. Okay, they know.
So, am I going to dinner with you or not?
No.
Who's
I don't think you're. Listen, let me just make this little dome. We can go inside. We can make it opaque and silent and all these wonderful sorts of things, and we can have any conversations we want, and he won't be right there.
Can we?
Oh wait, did you tell me about her disconnecting the owl from that?
Yeah. Not yet, but this one's not connected. This one right here. I trust Roach. She said he's not connected.
You're gonna be late for dinner.
I'm gonna leave. Make it happen. You guys figure it out. If you do something wrong, that's on you, not me, right?
Texas starts casting the dome.
But just to be sure, I'm gonna leave the owl outside too.
Okay.
Do we
just in
bring
case.
Wolf inside
No,
and
no,
see if it
no.
disconnects him from the network?
No, it's not. It's too risky. He can
Well,
stay
yeah,
out.
but how do we
I'll
know?
stay-
But he could be a test to see if Bob disconnects from the network.
Roach said she could disconnect. She disconnected the owl. Regardless, let's
disconnect
get
Bob?
him so that he doesn't affect anybody else if he goes off.
I'm gone.
William's taking off.
Okay, Lemon's tiny hut.
Lehman's tiny hut.
Yeah,
10-minute casting time? 1 minute casting time?
it's a 1 minute casting time.
Cool. What's your little hut look like, Texas?
Well, it's a dome. It's just no immobile dome of force. So it's 10 feet. It's round. I've made it nice and gray to kind of blend in, but it's opaque.
Did you let anybody else know, or you just kind of like cast this like in this clearing in this little like midway area between the shops?
No, I haven't because I've gotten panicky about needing to get this thing up.
No
So,
worries. I think you.
I'm sure everybody's gonna freak out around us, but oh well.
I think as you begin to cast in that minute, once again, all eyes are drawn to the group as they watch. As now, Kiara's movements and tracing the sigils might have been a little bit more subdued. A bard is never subdued. As
I resemble that remark.
yeah, as Texas goes, little a little home on the range as you start
Sure.
as you start singing and hooting and hollering and the words seem to coalesce into that of a little gray dome that matches fine with the this area sort of off in the corner. And sure enough, after a minute, you have this dome, which is going to be up for the next 8 hours. Only people I think that you designate Texas are allowed inside of the dome, which is going to be very valuable. And Wolf is staying outside, correct?
I'm not letting him in.
Okay. Evie turns and looks and sees the group and says, I'm going to guess that you all are staying here tonight.
We're going to see what we can do to work on things and correct some issues.
All right. Do you need anything?
I'm looking around for Roach. Roach, you want to help?
She kind of looks at you from behind Evie and says, with what?
With Bob. Do you have the backup?
Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of time. Give me a couple more hours. Do you want
all right.
Do you want all of them?
No, we just want to know we got a backup for him if we need it. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, and she goes, Lanky, get over here. And you see the really tall creature that burst into all those little spots before sort of crawl over. And she says, we're going to put together something new for Bob. Just an alternative in case he needs it. And Lanky nods his head, and they start lifting pieces out. And you see her just immediately hacking apart these spares. And Bob just looks on in abject, what anyone would look at in abject horror. But Bob is just sort of smiling and saying, this is very odd to be outside of it and see them chopping up pieces of me. Great.
I'm gonna go up to Evie and no, actually, no, never mind.
Okay. We cut to I don't think you're there yet, William. You can try. So William, with a little bit of time, you take the boat back, and Jay, your heart begins to soar as you see the boat returning back to the dock, and instead of the rest of your group on it, you just see William sitting there in the boat, rushing back to the shore, and Larathel jumps up as well and sort of walks to the dock with you. And you see him standing, getting off the boat and returning back to the island.
I'll run straight to them if I see them.
Yeah.
Please tell me everybody else is still there.
Yeah, everything's great. Problem, it's not a nuclear bomb, which is good. It's an EMP, which is bad.
We have been on this island looking through pamphlets and books, and you couldn't have called, you couldn't have sent a message, a sending, nothing.
No. So,
Arathel will turn around and start walking back towards the main area.
I'm here for dinner. I made it in time.
You blew it. Dude, you just blew it.
I didn't blow it.
Listen,
things were going on. There was stuff going down. You don't know what happened. Stuff.
I know common courtesy, though.
Did you call us with any information that you found? Or lack of information that you...
No, I'm not the boss.
But you could have called.
Whatever. Go try and save your lady love.
You, with me. Let's go.
Wait, how come he gets to go to dinner?
Jay, you look fondly or longingly at this island full of adventure and robots. And
I've got to fill him in on what's going on.
William grabs you by the hand, and it's just like you extend your hand, and Sarah McLaughlin plays in the background as you are pulled unceremoniously towards the island, towards this dinner party.
I'm not even hungry.
Oh, buddy.
William, I will say that you and Jay go tearing through the streets. After a bit of time, you manage to make your way to Laurothel's house, the home of that you are familiar with.
Her mom's house.
Her mom's house that she lives at, not the library. Do you give a small knock on the door? How do you approach? Do you walk in like you own the place? Do you?
Did the door open?
Hmm?
Did anybody come to the door when I knocked?
No, I was wondering how you approach this. Do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock on the door. I'm a guest. I don't live there.
Great, William. What are you wearing?
This got weird.
Regular
my
clothes.
Yeah, you know, like the jacket, the shirt, you know, the pants.
Jay's still wearing his tie dye. Great, awesome. So you guys make your way forward into the space as the door.
Say formal.
The door opens. You do see the long table of the dining room, and Amelia is there with her husband, and Laurethel is sitting across from her mother. She's still wearing the clothes that she was wearing earlier that day. Sitting next to Laurethel is a very tall human man. He's got long black hair.
Jim? Is it Jim?
It's Jim. And Jim sort of turns and looks at the door and goes, "Oh, I didn't know we were expecting other people." And Amelia nods her head and she goes, "Yes, well, I extended the invite to anybody who wanted to come. Come in. And she will pull out two chairs, jumping up for William and Jay at the table.
I'll flourish and bow deeply and thank her for inviting me to dinner. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Sure, William. And she sort of, you hear Dad at the end of the table go like snort as you do a bow and deep flourish. Jay, you sit down at a chair and you feel the chair creak underneath you. And you worry, but it holds true.
Oh, good.
What seats are left and next to whom?
Jim is sitting next to Laurethel. There are seats opposite her, and as she is opposite her mother right now, there's a seat opposite Jim, and there's other seats going down the table.
So the seat opposite her would be next to her.
Right.
I'll sit next to the mom.
She's sitting. She's looking at her mom. Dad's at the head of the table. So the opposite her is taken. Jim is here.
Okay.
There's a seat
across from
opposite
Jim.
Yes.
Oh, I'll sit across from Jim.
Of course you will. Everyone sits at the table. They just sort of look at each other.
I have some interesting news that I found out today.
Oh, really, William? That's lovely. What did you find out?
Yeah. So the island where we stopped, close to where my team was from.
Oh.
Not the same time frame, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah, interesting.
Fascinating. Mother, did you hear that William is part of this new group that's wielding Excalibur? And Amelia continues to eat her soup in silence.
They seem to be better than my last team.
The one that died?
Ooh, do not like.
Who said that?
That's Amelia.
The mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Well, that's interesting as well. But there seems to be a huge technological leap in the area. They've got technomancy. Yeah, you familiar with that one?
No one Laurethel shakes her head and goes, "No, I've never heard of nothing like technomancy. before.
Interesting. I thought for sure you would know already. I apologize for assuming that you did. It's quite interesting.
Arethel, you feel a swift kick come from underneath the table. Which hits your shin.
Is fantastic.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Jay, how long have you been working for William?
Oh, I wouldn't say working for William.
It's more of a team. Like we work together.
Oh, how long you been working with William?
Was this week 1? Well, like I lose track of time here.
It's been like we've been together so long. I can't put a time on it. It feels like forever. You guys are fantastic. I love it.
So about a week, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you had to put a number on it, that's close enough.
All right. Dinner continues on in this way as the soup is brought out. Larathel's father thinks this is the greatest night of his life. Like he is at the front of the table. He doesn't say anything. He just kind of looks and smiles and nods. Like he's not even eating food. Amelia just like hits him in the elbow and he just shakes his head no and just continues to watch the awkwardness unfold in front of him. The main course is brought out. As that happens, I want to switch back to the other group as this is turning into like my favorite scene from Shrek 2 as everybody's just sort of eating food at the dinner table. Texas Cask, Kiara, Turk, all of you are gathered about in this space, and after a while, it presses on later into the evening. You do have a comfortable place to stay. However, Roach at one point comes up to the front of the area, and as she does, I need to know a couple of things. One, is Bob allowed inside the hut?
No, we're specifically bringing Bob inside the hut.
So Bob is currently in or not in?
Well, I don't know if he's in yet or not, but the whole point was to bring him in.
Okay.
Because that way, if he goes off, it's at least hopefully stopped by the hut because all of us should be immune.
Bob is brought in. When that happens, you guys are in there for a bit of time. Roach shows up, and she has what looks to be a pieced together Bob, a basic operations bot. This one actually looks a little bit cleaner and more put together than the body that Bob is currently in. All of those mismatched parts are actually all one particular, like, gunmetal gray. And you see the same sort of, like, head plate, the same sort of display that lights up where the eyes are and the mouth are. The body looks almost identical to the body that Bob has, like the face plate and things of that sort. There's a plate that Bob has on the back that is not on this particular model, but that was something that one of you noticed earlier, that there's a plate on his back that looks like it's holding something in or holding something down or something along those lines. But you look to have a functional replacement body.
Okay. I look over at Kiara and I say, did you get any hints or any clue based on what you saw as to where this EMP might have come from? Because if it is magic, if it's technology that's based in magic, then a simple dispel might do the trick.
Well, I'll just kind of reiterate where I saw the magic on Bob.
Because there was a thing in his head, but that was more abjuration, right?
Right, abjuration magic. There was necromancy and technomancy as well.
And were those all throughout him, or were those just in specific?
I believe the technomancy was all throughout. I'm not sure exactly which parts on Bob had the necromancy.
Sporadically intertwining with this this light that emanates from him. That Texas, give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
He had his evocation.
That was a nat 20.
Crap.
Sorry. And Arcana, well, it's only a 21, but still, it was a nat 20 on the.
Okay. Texas. You are familiar with the concept of an Ioun stone.
Yes.
Or a pearl of power.
Okay.
Or a spell of storing. Or like a stone of spell storage. Bob is putting out, according to Kiara, enough light that he looks like he is a walking, talking storage device. Like Bob is a you can dispel magic on him, but he is a fully fledged something twirling around inside of his belly that is a mixture of technomancy, a little bit of abjuration right at the top of that frontal cortex, and necromancy, all swirling around as if the right person can come along, touch him on the shoulder, and go, "Open sesame," and he's just going to go.
Okay, so is there a way that we could just transfer his personality, his basic function into this, and then just dispel the whole thing that's left?
You could. I'm going to warn you right now that this is high risk and high reward. You can transfer Bob's mind very easily over into it. You don't know whether it's going to carry with it any of the magic that's concurrent with this body. You could also just leave him in this body, cast Dispel Magic, but know that if you mess up, if you don't hit the DC, no, Bob's going to be fine unless there's a fail-safe and something goes off. So Texas group, make it. This is not my game. This is your call to make right here.
Well, and that's what I was going to bring up. If technomancy is what has created the CMP, you think they'd be smart enough to know that Dispel Magic might? What if it sets everything off?
That at least we're setting everything off inside this bubble, and it's not going to affect any of us.
Are we sure that it's not going to affect anybody else, though? Is it contained in here, or is it being tied to the network? Is he still tied to the network right now?
Well, she said that she could take him off the network. That was the thing. The whole point was we were going to get her to take him off the network, and then transfer him.
She's going to try to take him off the network inside here, though, but might set it off as she was doing this, correct?
Might, but if it sets it off in here, I mean, the first priority is disconnect him from the network. I don't feel like we have a lot of time. Like we've just, at some point, we're just going to have to do something. It's going to be risky no matter what we do.
I'm going to go up to Bob and check the timer on him.
Okay. I would say based on the stuff that you guys are doing, 57 hours? 57 hours? Thereabouts. Last time you checked, it was around 60. Not a lot.
Roach is still here, right?
Yeah, Roach is still there.
While in this hut, is he connected to the network?
Roach, is there a way for you to check to see if he's connected to the network while he's in here?
Yeah, she goes over to scrambles to where Bob is, and she goes, she goes, Bob, admin, give me a status check, please. And he goes, admin, status check. You got it. And he just sort of, he goes catatonic for a second. Like his arms drop and his head drops and his body drops. And she goes, full system reboot, reprogramming different personality, Bob 2.0. And Bob just stands there. She goes, recalibrate, different Bob personality, Bob 3.0. Bob 4, updates. No, he's not connected to the network in here. I haven't turned anything off.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I think that solves one of our problems then. We don't need her to disconnect him.
Okay, so can you download this personality into the backup? That's the next thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I can certainly try. It's going to take a little bit of time. As long as it doesn't hurt him, she will take a wire out from behind the back of Bob's head, where close to a little bit of where Kiara saw this abjuration magic, and she'll pull this wire out from the back of him and plug him into take this wire and sort of plug it into this spare body that you guys have set up off on the side. And as that wire begins to get plugged into the other one, there is a buzzing sound. The transfer of energy as both the units turn on, and you watch as what you think is Bob's memories being transferred over to this other system.
Should we have Kiara check to see what type of magic transfer is going on right now? Another detect magic?
Kiara would have to cast I will say the last little bits of however long this lasts, Kiara is able to see. Kiara, the abjuration magic, whatever it is, you're noticing technomancy being transferred over. The abjuration is keeping that pool of necrotic and technomancy located inside.
So it's still inside Hodgepodge Bob, not Gunmetal Bob.
Hodgepodge Bob still has this bundle of energy, but a little bit is being able to leak out to this other Bob.
Okay, so once this transfer is complete, we need to get new Bob out of the bubble.
Okay.
Because if Bob blows, we got to make sure that he's not in here.
You don't want Bob Bomb to blow.
Make sure. Yeah, we need to make sure new Bob is old Bob.
Right, I know.
First, before we do anything else.
But then we need to get him out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Sure. A little bit of time passes, and you watch as you spend the next hour going on into the evening until about 10 or 11, transferring this energy from old Bob to new Bob. And then let's transfer back over to William and Jay. William, Jay, you would have no way of knowing this, but William, you know exactly who this guy is, and across from you. And throughout the course of the dinner, you catch a little bit of it. You learn, Jay, very quickly that Jim Lee is a DM. He leads a group of adventurers, but they don't leave the island. They explore the secrets found therein. Jim holds up his sleeve and pulls it down a little bit, and you see a tattoo of the Sword in the Stone. And then he pulls up his hand on this side, and you see a picture of on this arm, it's another tattoo, and it's a woman's hand reaching out of a lake holding a sword in her hand. It's the Lady in the Lake. And so during the course of the dinner, Jim at one point shows these both to you and shows you off the tattoos and stuff like that. He's a bit conceited. He's a little bit full of himself. But the more he tells stories, the more it seems like it's somewhat justified, as the group is responsible for killing all number of beasties that have attacked the island, and they actually found a secret cave located underneath the island that they all had to take potions of water breathing in order to access, and that there's all sorts of secrets and stuff hidden on the island proper. Jay and William both give me an insight check, please.
It's an 11 for Jay.
11 for Jay.
Let's see, a 2 plus. What'd you say? Insight.
Insight.
11.
Both of you got an 11. I'll say you're able to read the surface. Mom is enraptured. Dad is bored. La'Arathel wants to stab him with a fork.
All that study on the sword. That's not very interesting. If you could just pick it up and hold it. It's so much more interesting that way. I'll have to see if I can maybe have one of my team show it to you sometime, but seeing it in person would probably be pretty interesting, I believe, for you. Jim, you're welcome anytime.
Wait, you walk around with the sword?
Jim, have you been following along?
Well, I understand that, but I figured you guys would store it somewhere. Do you walk around with it?
Oh, Jim, you just don't leave that laying around.
How do you... I don't understand. How do you walk through places holding a giant broadsword?
Which part didn't you understand? We pulled it from the stone, or that we have it?
Larathel is like giggling as she's like eating her food now, trying not to snort into her water. No, what I'm interested in is how did you get it?
Oh, they... I understand. They pulled it from the stone.
Who did?
My team, of course.
He looks over at Jay. Who pulled it from the stone?
Well, technically speaking, the sword kind of floated out of the stone on itself, and then presented itself to.
You can't hold back greatness, can you, Jim?
Was William there when it floated out of the stone?
Of course not.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think we're good here. And dinner continues onward for a bit of time, and then you feel a slight squeeze at your hand as.
Tell me it was Jim that squeezed his hand.
It was Jim squeezing your hand. You realize it's a small mage hand at squeezing your hand, and the dinner mother says, "Hey, let's bring some dishes into the kitchen, please." And Larathel, please. And Larathel sort of nods her head, and her and Amelia get up and go get some dishes. And you feel a hand on your shoulder, Jay, as Larathel passes, and you just hear a "Thank you for doing this. I know you didn't have to. I actually had a good time with you studying pamphlets and things like that today."
It was actually fun. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yep. And she also puts a hand on your shoulder as she walks past William and says, I got you a little present as a thank you.
I'll quickly put my hand on top of her.
Would you knock it off? And she smacks her hand. She's like, that's not what this is about.
Well, it could be. I don't know.
I need you to go ahead and run to my father's study and show Jay my father's study. Do you think you can do that?
Your father's going to be okay with that?
She sort of looks over at her father, and her father's like, I know nothing. I sit here and drink my drink. If someone were to go into my study, I would not know.
I'll nod to him.
He'll nod. So,
let's go.
Jim, tell me more of your adventures. And Jim goes, oh, yes, well, there was the time. And William, you and Jay make your way over to her father's study.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What do we see?
You see a small pedestal. On the pedestal in the father's study is a rock with a red ribbon tied around it.
Is there a nameplate on the pedestal?
Yes.
What does it say?
The nameplate on the pedestal says the Ball of Remembering.
The Ball of Remembering.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rock.
Yeah. Of remembering.
So, what? I hit you over the head with it, and you remember everything?
What? We'll call that Plan B. Let's save that. No hitting. I don't want to be hit.
William and Jay, as you walk over towards where the ball is, does one of you pick it up off the pedestal?
If Jay goes to, I'll try to stop him.
Oh no, I don't touch magical wrapped up thingies often.
Can I?
Except for the books and the potions and the coin and the...
Can I take a quick perception check of
sure.
Maybe the desk, the area, since it's on a pedestal, see if there's anything related to this?
Sure.
That's a 1.
You see nothing. There's a big ball. It's this dumb rock. It's on a pedestal. It's in
I'm
front
gonna
of
pick
you.
it up.
Yeah.
At that point.
William, as you pick it up, Jay, you kind of lean over, and as you do, you place a hand on William's shoulder to get a better look of where this, what this ball is. As you pick up the ball of remembering, William, is there a place that you've been to within the last 24 hours that you would like to return to?
Reluctantly to my father's statue. I mean, that's the first thing I would think of.
With a blink, the ball of remembering goes, "Hey, you remember?" And then the two of you immediately transport back to that statue. You are whisked away out of the area. This is a group item that I'm granting to all of you. Once every 7 days, the ball resets. But you can use the ball to return to a place that you've been to the previous 24 hours. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Very powerful magical item that can be used.
I'll put that in my pocket.
Okay. You find yourself over at the statue. All of the kids are like, "All right, go ahead and make an Arcana," and William and Jay appear in the space. You two are step onto the battle map. As you do, they all sort of look up at you, and you look down at them.
Son of a biscuits! Jay,
Jay
what did you do?
He leans over and retches onto the battle map.
All of the soup, all of the food that you've been eating, just just comes out all over this, and the kids are like, "What is happening?" Like, they scatter. That's probably enough to make them all sort of leave this space. William and Jay, after a bit of time, for the sake of your DM, you make your way through the streets.
Oh, real quick before we leave this statue,
yes, absolutely.
just 1 second.
Yeah.
Before we leave this statue, I'm gonna look up to see what version of DM player manual. Player's
what edition
manual.
It is, yeah.
What edition it is?
5th edition. Which you realize would have
Is
been
it-
the edition that Kiara, Cass, Texas, Turk, and Jay were using.
Is it attached to the statue?
Would you like to try to move it?
I most certainly would.
Okay.
If it's his, I'm going to take it.
Strength check, please.
At least try to take it. Okay, never mind. It's a 1.
Okay.
Did you need a hand with that?
Yeah. You wanna? Can you hand me that book?
Jay, give me a strength check.
I thought it'd be good.
19 on the die,
Yeah.
plus 7.
William, you spent a good couple minutes, like both feet prepped on it, and then at one, Jay's like, "Is it this the book? Anybody want a peanut?" Like he just pulls the book out of the side. The book is still stone. It's the statue is bronze.
It was bronze.
Bronze.
Hang on. Yep. So the book is also bronze.
Is it sealed or solid bronze, or can you flip through it?
It is not. Would you like to flip through it?
Just the real quick.
It opens.
Just the inside cover.
It opens one time. It's not like a bunch of bronze pages. It opens up to a hollowed container inside of the book. Inside of this particular book is a metal rod. There are 2 buttons on the metal rod.
I'll close the book and put them in my bag, the book and along with the rod.
You know that your father says the best magical items were not the most complex. They were not the ones that were the flashiest. The only magical items that any adventurer worth their salt needed was a bag of holding and an immovable rod. And you could change the world.
Whether he notices or not, a single solitary tear will roll down the side of his face.
Sure. You have the bronze book, which you can use in explore and see if there's anything more to it. But you also have an immovable rod that you can add to your inventory.
Got it. Thanks. Moving on.
Number 624. Thank you for joining our tribe. And Cecil Smash. Aye, but they be worth it. Yeah, you guys make your way back to the area. I think as the final bits of transfer happen, William and Jay appear back in the area. Jay, I have to ask you a very important question. When you appear, are you purely organic, or are you a mixture of the two? Are you organic and mechanical?
Probably being yanked into this place, not really knowing everything about it, he'd be purely organic.
Okay. You're gonna be beefy. You're gonna be a beefy dude. Your skin is still humanoid, but you're appearing as mostly purely organic. Okay.
He missed his chance to be a Clockwork Knight.
That's true. It's fine. Just playing Jay.
All right.
No. I'm saying that you won't find out till you get back that he's like, I could have what?
I could have done what? All right. You guys make your way back. With that, a small. You guys appear and exchange greetings about how the dinner went. With that, the lights on the new copy of Bob flash forward as Bob, I will affectionately call Bob 2.0. His eyes
Hello, Bob.
flash open. And you hear, hello. Hello.
Bob, are you still a bomb?
Well, I still am. And Bob waves from inside the dome. But the Bob on the outside goes, but not me. I'm not a bomb. I have no bomb in me. And,
I'm going to look on the spot where the timer was on Bob 2.0's new chassis and see if there's anything.
There's no display. There's no timer counting down. But Bob inside the area goes, terrific. Why, that's a good-looking gentleman over there. And Bob 2.0 goes, why, thanks, mister. And they just sort of wave at each other.
Valley.
All right, I think we should do this now. Should I just take down all the magic I possibly can?
I mean, I can help.
Guys,
Okay.
I can't.
EMP, right?
What?
It's an EMP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's looking like it's that technomancy.
Faraday cage. We can make a Faraday cage.
Kind of what the Lehman's hut's providing.
What's a Faraday cage?
Faraday cage, basically, it's a container to protect things from an EMP, but I'm wondering if it could work the opposite way. I don't know of any way it's ever been tested. I remember reading it a long time ago.
Inside.
Well, that's what we were hoping that the dome was providing, because no magic can get through, and it's walls of force. I mean, nothing should be able to get through this. So if it goes off.
Anybody got above an 18 on passive perception?
Yes, somebody does. Does a 22 work for you?
On passive perception?
Passive?
Why, yes,
Mine's 19.
19.
Wow.
Observant feat.
Observant.
Oh my god.
I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
My god, Turk.
Jay, you guys are all in this clearing, and Texas is like, we need to do this now. I'm going to try to remove as much magic as possible. When that happens, you see behind Jay something moving in the grass. It's like just the grass is shifting slightly. It looks like it's moving towards where Jay is.
And I see that.
Turk, you see it as clear as day.
And are Bell's alarms going off, I'm assuming?
That is...
Behind you, Jay.
What does a 19 see?
19 sees nothing.
Okay.
When Turk
And
points
I'm
it out,
actually removing my bow and
when Turk points it out to you, William, you guys all see it. It's like a little golden snake in the grass, and it's moving slightly towards where Jay is. It's about 6 inches long, looks really little, and it's just slithering in the grass towards where Jay is.
Listen, can you guys take care of this, and Cass and me can go in and start working on Bob right now?
I'll move to attack it.
Texas and Cass head inside the dome.
Wait, no. Before we go in, Texas and Cass is going to kind of stop her and cast Bless on her in the event anything happens and we need to make some saving throws.
Just Texas?
Whoever else is going to be in there while we're doing it.
You can pick 3 people. I don't know who all is going in there other than, I'll say Roach.
If she casts it now, will it work for the people? Because they're right outside the dome. They're within 30 feet.
Yeah, she could do that.
Oh, that's a good point.
You can.
You know the spell book better than I do, Texas. Nice. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll do it on more people then.
Texas?
Who else wants some blessings?
Roach, do you recognize this thing?
Roach looks over at it, and as she does, she sends the cockroaches out, crawling along the ground. And as she does, she screams out to everybody. She yells. She yells, "Augies! They sent Augies!" And as she says, "They sent Augies," you watch as the people that are just milling about the area all start turning around. Evie turns into a large dire wolf mechanically, and as she sits on the ground, more of these little golden snakes start pouring in from somewhere. Right now, you see the one in front of you. As you all are staring at it, and Texas and Cass, you're going, "Does anybody need a blessing? I'm happy to bless." With that, the golden snake in front of Jay will begin to elongate. The tube of the snake pops off, and then pops again, and then pops again, and then pops, almost like they're extending from this long tube, long, thin strands that form together a clockwork assassin. The assassin stands in front of Jay and is going to make an attack against him. This will not be its sneak attack, Jay. This is going to be a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. With that, Jay, you're not going to take a ton of damage here. You're going to take 8 points of piercing damage, and I need you to give me a con save, please.
That's a 16.
You barely push the poison out of your system that is coated on this long golden rapier that is the same material as the clockwork assassin. And as this thing attacks you, all of the snakes walking around the area start popping up into these different assassins, clockwork assassins, each of them with the same symbol on their chest. And you just hear people screaming the word Augie, and I need everybody to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
What is the symbol?
The symbol is a small ball of lightning. Think circular ball, and think zag, zag, zag.
As I was in the middle of an action, as this began to happen, would I get maybe the benefit of continuing my action on at least Texas?
Cass, I will let you choose 2 other individuals.
Okay.
And kick off the bless spell, but I need to know now. This is like the equivalent of I'm casting this. It's almost like you stopped mid casting and we're like, "Hey, does anybody? I want
And then Augies.
Augies. Yeah. So who are you picking?
It would have been Jay, and who I guess the person who was nearest me. So that probably would have been Kiara as she was looking into the hut as well.
Kiara, Jay, and Texas. You may add a D4 to saving throws and attacks while Cass has this bless up. Do you understand? Okay. Augies start popping up in the area all around you. I need 20 to 25, please.
23.
Turk.
22.
That's 23 for Turk.
Yep. William with a 22.
Yep.
Hang on. Okay. Got it. 2, 3, 14. Okay. 20 to 15.
It's an 18 for Jay.
Jay. Kiara.
17 for Kiara.
Jay. Kiara.
Does Wolf maintain his same stats?
He does.
Okay, so he's at 19.
Okay. Wolf, unfortunately, cannot attack anything unless you've been attacked. The new augmentations made to him are messing around with some of his systems a little bit. So Wolf is not going to be able to attack unless it is in self-defense of the user. Does that make sense?
It certainly does.
Kiara's turn. That's 20 to 15. 15 to 10? 10 to 5?
8.
Okay.
7.
Texas and Cass. And then Augie. And then Augie. All right. That is your initiative. Turk, it's your turn.
I'm going to take a bonus action and actually throw Hunter's Mark on the one that attempted to attack Jay, or the one that did attack Jay.
There are 3 of them in front of you. I would say Turk. Cass has established that she's next to Kiara and Texas. William, Jay, and Turk, you're also sort of clumped up in a little clump right now as well. But yes, you send out a hunter's mark to where they are.
And I would have thought I would have stayed out of where I could take a ranged attack.
Okay.
Would have been my
absolutely
plan as I saw this.
Absolutely. So you back up a little bit into a ranged attack.
And I'm going to throw off 2 arrows. First one is a +9. Wow, is a 26. Second one is a 16.
16 hits. And the 26 hits as well.
Okay.
Roll damage.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's 2 1s. Plus 4, so it's going to be 10 points of damage with both.
The arrows find a hard time finding purchase within this mishmash of parts, and you watch as Turk just the arrows flying forward and jamming themselves. You see a slight jerk to the movements of one of the Augies, but they just sort of stop and look over at you. Their clockwork red eyes focusing on you, Turk. That is...
And I forgot my owl, Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
That goes for both shots, right?
That goes for both shots, I believe. Yes.
That's an additional 7 points of damage.
7 points, 12, and 18, 9. Okay, perfect. That's great. That is your turn, Willie.
I will attack the one that attacked Jay.
Got it.
Or rather, I will try to attack.
This one is the only one that's taken damage so far, but you are wailing into him. Give me an attack roll.
Let's see. That will be 11.
11 misses.
Okay. Be right back.
Okay. With that, you watch as William goes there, and then he just like shuts down a little bit. Like you don't know what's going on. He just kind of like gets a little like down on himself for missing that attack. That's Willie's turn. Jay, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna actually turn my gemstone on my great axe to the yellow gem.
Okay.
Which will deal additional thunder damage.
Got it. That's a good call here.
And then I'm also going to use my Axe Mastery's free action to go into a defensive stance to get +1 AC.
Okay.
And I'm going to take 2 mighty swings at this thing that's right in front of me.
Give me 2 attack rolls, buddy.
First one is a 22.
Yep.
And the second is a 14.
The 14 does not hit. The 22 definitely hits.
All right. That is 5, 9 slashing damage and 3 force damage.
Okay.
So.
Yep, this one's looking a little weak as you guys just the three of you start hounding attacks into it. The arrows flying forward. William tries to take a swipe at it. Jay, you try to bring forward the clockwork axe, and as you do, you feel the pulsing of magical energy echoing into this clockwork assassin, but he's still on his feet. That will take us to Kiara.
All right. I don't like these guys.
Okay.
They take on the form of animals, but they're not actually animals. And that hurts me.
Okay.
On a level. So I'm going to cast Heat Metal on one of the ones that hasn't been touched yet.
Ooh. Bye-bye.
At what level?
3rd level.
All right.
That's 3d8.
Yeah, go ahead and just roll your damage there.
They upset me.
I can tell.
I need another d8. There's a d8. Math.
It's so hard.
That is 19 points of damage.
All right. 19 points of damage. This thing just doesn't look happy. Great move, Kiara. You doing anything with your bonus action?
Let me check. I didn't get that far.
That's all right. Take a look at it. Just know that Texas, of the players, you are up next, followed by Cass.
I'm actually just going to use my bonus action to use my trait that lets me speak with speech of beast and leaf. I can't understand what animals are saying, but I can speak to them, and I know that Roach sent out her roaches, and I'm just gonna kind of send some encouragement to the roaches. And just hold them back. Just.
I like it. I will grant them an attack at advantage because you are encouraging them in roach speak. With that, Kiara, William, Jay, Turk. Texas and Cass have not gone. One of the assassins will leap over to where Texas is and will make an attack against her, analyzing her attack patterns because she has not made any yet. That is a 16 to hit.
Me? Yeah.
Yep. So you are going to take 21 points of damage. As you have not attacked on this turn. You have not done anything this turn.
And we did not heal from last time either, did we?
You have not. No, nobody here is taking a short rest or anything like that. And I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
But I get to add my D4 to that, right?
You do.
Yes, you do.
Oh. Wow. Well, I rolled a 2 plus 3 plus 4. So that's a 9.
Okay. You are a little lucky here. You're only going to take 7 points of poison damage.
Whew.
So 28 total.
Yep.
Ouch.
That is one of the creature's turns. Texas, you are up.
Okay, so I am outside the dome right now. I'm getting ready to run into the dome.
Correct. You can still do that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bonus action first, Bardic Inspiration, and then I'm going to run inside the dome and then work on Bob because I want to shut this thing down real quick. So I'm going to look over at, I think Turk's coming up really soon. I'm going to look over at Turk and say, good old Bob the Bot. I'm going to fix the EMP and Turk's going to break its knee. And then I'm going to run inside. You got a D8. And I'm going to cast, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic. The highest I can go is 3rd level. And I'm going to try to hone in as best I can on whatever is creating this EMP. But without knowing exactly what it is, I'm going to address the the main parts of the techno magic or whatever it was that weren't transferring over. Around the part especially of that extra plate that he has that the other one doesn't have, because that may have been the piece that got added.
So not here, here where the extra plate is. Got it. Dispel magic. Roll a d20 because it's higher than level 3.
Okay. It was an 18 on the die.
Okay. Add your spellcasting ability modifier to this, I believe.
Okay. That would be a spell attack modifier or the spell modifier?
The one on the left.
That's, that's going to be enough. With an 18...
23.
Sure. With an 18 on the die, with a 23 total, you channel the necromantic technological aspect of this area, not being able to see it for what it is, but you're like, there's bad stuff here. I want to end this. And as you do, you are able to turn off that particular bit of magic. When you do, Bob looks down at his belly and he goes, huh.
Okay, do I have room to say anything before my turn is over?
You can certainly say something as a free action.
Sure. Are you okay? Is the EMP gone?
And he can answer you on his turn.
Yes.
When is his turn, by the way, since he didn't roll initiative?
Oh, he didn't?
Didn't he?
Next up is another Augie. It's going to look at the battlefield and find the other individual that has not attacked yet, and will make their way over to where Cass is, rolling these attacks at advantage. So that'll be a 16 to hit for the first one.
Meet.
It meets it? Yeah, that still counts. 20 points of piercing damage. And I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
What was that number again?
20 points.
20 flat. Okay. Okay. Constitution. There it is. A 5.
5.
If you will, please.
Okay. So 5. Oh, that's appropriate. 5 points of damage, of poison damage, as you feel the poison coursing through your body. Go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw to maintain the bless.
Oh, crud. 15.
10 at the minimum. Yeah, you are able to hold on to your spell. So bless stays. That is the Augie's turn. He will also turn to face Turk, along with the first Augie that attacked. This last... no, it's Cass, your turn.
Yeah. But did he have another part of his action?
No, he's good.
Okay. Oh, well, that changes that plan.
He's doing something else with his action. His bonus action.
And the door of the hut is closed.
Nope,
right?
it's open. It's a there's no like door to it. It's just it's an open hut.
They won't be able to enter it.
But she would.
No, but I can. But if I cast anything to heal Texas, it won't make it in there. It'll shut down as soon as it gets past the threshold. In that case, Cass is going to test her luck, kind of remembering the Titanic adventure, maybe not that one, but and slam her foot down on the ground, mad that someone made her bleed her own blood.
Okay.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Cast command toward the Augie that attacked her.
Okay. What is the save on command?
Wisdom 14.
Wisdom 14. It fails. What do you command the Augie to do?
When it came up, it appeared mechanoid, right? Mechanical?
It is very mechanical.
God, disconnect from the network would be the command.
One word, disconnect.
Disconnect.
Okay. We will see if anything happens on its turn.
All right.
Disconnect. I'm into it. The next Augie goes. This one is next to Jay and Turk, and this is the one that you guys have just been beating with your beating stick. That is on death's door.
I was using my whiffing stick.
Yes, you were.
This one sees that it is not long for this world. It is going to make a grapple to Turk. Turk, does a 17 hit your armor class?
It definitely does.
Okay. So this thing is going to make an attack to grapple you. It takes both of its arms and wraps one arm around you until it connects with this arm. And then it does the same thing with its leg. And you hear a beep, 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 beep.
Where's
beep,
water when I
beep,
need it?
Beep, beep.
Can I try to disengage?
Yeah, on your turn.
Break the grapple?
Yep.
Oh, I have to wait for my turn?
Yeah. That is an automatic move that it is able to do once it lands that attack. So let's head back to the top of the initiative order. Turk. Beep, 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 beep.
I am going to attempt to disengage.
Athletics or acrobatics, buddy? Your call.
Athletics.
All right.
And I am going to take my bardic inspiration.
Okay. Now's a good time to use it.
Now's a good time to use it. That's a D8.
Yep.
Okay, so 12. I could really use a blessing right now. 3, 15.
15 is not going to do it, buddy. I'm sorry. He's got a 17 to hold on. This thing hugs you like a brother. But the good news is you have until its next turn, which is about 6 seconds from now.
Yes, it is.
Okay. This thing is wrapped around you. You can you've used your action to do that. Would you like to do anything with your bonus action?
Are we talking bonus action? Is what I've got right now.
Which bonus action or your movement?
And am I capable of movement?
Absolutely. So when this thing wraps its arms around you and its legs, you basically have a backpack now.
Okay, I'm wearing a backpack.
You're wearing a backpack that's on the front with this little red light that's beeping and picking up an intensity. Just beep, 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 beep.
And
beep, beep.
I am... I am... What would happen if I ran into the hut?
That's the question.
That's a great question, pal. Boy, that question's been plaguing players for centuries, man. What would happen if you ran in that hut? There's only one way to really find out.
Which is what I'm going to find out right now.
Okay.
I'm going to run into the hut.
Let me posit this out OOC style. So there's already another person in there,
which has a
no.
They have their
there's Texas in the hut with a possibly explosive Bob in the hut. And
right.
Turk has a strapped beeping thing to his chest. He wants to go run in the hut and see what happens.
Is Roach in there?
Roach is not. Roach is outside sending her army of roaches.
So just out of character real quick. You are going to take a potentially explosive device and run it into where you know for a fact there's other people.
Where I know nobody else is, and other people have movements.
Okay.
I mean, there's other people in there.
Turk runs.
Okay.
Nope. William, you can't stop time. Turk runs into there. Texas, you look up, and Bob look up as Turk walks in, and he's like,
Out now.
I need the room.
And he's carrying it in his hand. Okay, got
Nope,
it.
it's
it's wrapped around my chest.
It's
Wrapped around
reverse
his chest.
Yoda.
Got it.
He's got a
So they can't get out until their turn, though. and
Correct.
turns coming up soon.
That's
Would this
that's something
promote an attack of opportunity?
against the creature.
Yes.
Because he did move past me and Jay.
Jay and William, absolutely. If you guys would like to take your attacks of opportunity,
Absolutely.
I would highly encourage this.
No freaking way would I miss that opportunity.
Jay, go ahead and go first, Jay.
I'm gonna attempt to rip this thing off of him instead of.
That is not an attack
splash
of
it off.
opportunity. An attack of
Okay.
opportunity is using your melee weapon to make an attack.
Oh, I hope my aim's true.
Me
Yeah,
too.
All right, here
What are
we
you
go.
What are you aiming for, Jay?
As much mass on that little metal tube as I can.
Great. Big center sting to his chest. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and roll the bless.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's a lot. It's 27.
That hits. Roll damage.
That is 12 slashing and 2 force.
Okay. A big chunk of it is taken off. William, go ahead, buddy.
16.
16 hits. Roll damage.
Oh, thank God. I rolled an 8.
He's back.
What? That lock up?
He froze for a second. Yeah. We heard. I rolled an 8. So if you said anything after that, we didn't get it.
No, I didn't say anything. So that's going to be 9?
Perfect. It had 8 hit points left. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The
Bad
good
news first.
The bad news is I need the 3 of you to give me dexterity saving throws. The good news is you don't have to worry about running into the hut anymore.
God.
22.
22.
11.
Dexter.
11.
And 22 for me.
Turk and William, you're going to take half damage here as the robot explodes.
Can I? Okay, go ahead. Let me see what damage is. No, can I get uncanny dodge as well?
No. So as a rogue, you're going to be able to just like dodge, because you make the save. You didn't make the save. You're going to take half damage. If you had made the save, you would have taken no damage.
Oh, so a 22 didn't make the save?
No, he made the save.
You made the save.
So that's why I get half damage. Gotcha.
You're getting half damage here.
But Jesus save.
Okay. 19 points of fire damage to Jay. 8 points to Turk and William. Okay.
No, it's not okay, but I'll take it.
A lot of things just happened in the course of that time as Turk went running forward, and there was a you see it's Jay tries to dodge out of the way, but like doesn't quite make it. William and Turk are caught up in the blast, but only lightly singed. That is your turn. Let's go to William. Go ahead, buddy. There is one outside of the dome where Texas was, and there's one currently in melee with Cass right now.
I will
Which
attack
one is heated metal, by the way?
The one that is heated metal is currently the one fighting Cass right now.
I will attack the one near Cass, or I will try.
Okay.
And that is a 9 on the dot. So that is a 17.
17 hits.
Okay. And I get sneak attack damage this time, so.
Because Cass is currently in melee with it.
Yeah. So 5 for the weapon damage.
Okay.
And then another 12 for the sneak attack damage.
Got it. 17 total, right?
Yep.
Good move. That's William's turn. Jay, you're up.
All right. We're just going to continue swinging and hacking at these guys.
Do it.
The first one is a 24 to hit.
24 hits. Roll damage.
The second is a 20.
20 also hits. Roll damage.
Okay. First one is 10. 10 points slashing and 3 points force.
Okay. Which one are you hitting? Are you hitting the one that's currently in melee with Cass, or are you doing the one that's outside the hut?
I would have gone over to help out Cass.
Got it.
And then the second is 7 slashing and 4 force.
Got it. It's up, but it doesn't look good. That's Jay's turn. Kiara.
I'm maintaining that heat metal.
Okay.
So since it can't drop the metal that's technically warm, he's going to take some more damage.
You're going to maintain that spell, right, as a bonus action? Okay.
Yes. Do you want me to roll it?
No. I mean, yes. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. That is 7 points.
Okay.
Of
it hits
fire.
It hits the ground. Kiara's next to it. William's next to it. Jay's next to it. As it hits the ground, it starts beeping. Beep 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 beep.
All right.
Beep 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 beep. You have an action left. You used your bonus action.
Crap. Man, I don't know. All right, I'm going to conjure animals.
Okay. Is this a concentration spell?
Yes.
Okay.
No, so I can't do that then.
You can do that. The drop.
You just drop the concentration of the other
drop
thing.
metal has already
Right.
fallen.
Right.
because the
Okay. So
creature
yeah,
has
then
fallen.
I technically could. Okay. All right. I just need to look to see how many. I am going to. This is a smaller space. I don't want to do.
Try to keep it moving, gang.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do 8 constrictor snakes.
8 constrictor snakes manifesting into the area.
Yep.
With your action. Do you roll your own initiative for him?
It's considered fey. Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group. Yes. And that's a 1. So they're at the very bottom.
Good one. They're at the very got it. William, that's going to take a perception check on your turn, or an investigation check. Okay.
Right.
Bonus act. So go ahead and roll that, please. Investigation or perception, your choice. With that, Bob is going to look at you, Texas, and say, there's still something here. Can you do that next, please?
Okay. Okay, it's not my turn yet.
That's all Bob's going to
Okay.
do on his turn.
Okay.
Wasn't Bob answering it? Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, he was answering my
answer.
William.
That was a 17.
Okay. It's hard to tell, man. They're coming in from the grass. You're noticing people are like looking about the space, but as you look up, you might see one of them, like one of these snakes, like drop from the sky and hit the ground and slither around. But it's going so fast that if you weren't paying attention to it, it's so dark outside that a little trick of light could take this as like something just shimmered past. They're coming from the sky at some point.
Gotcha.
Okay. That is that turn. That Augie is dead. But it's going to explode. William, Kiara, and no, Turk is there. Jay is there. Texas is in the booth. Cass. William, Kiara, and Cass. Give me dexterity saving throws, please.
$21.
21.
20.
20.
I'm gonna use my D4. 18.
18. You're all going to make this. William, you're going to take no damage. Kiara and Cass, you're going to take... Ooh. You're going to take 6 points of fire damage as this thing explodes. Give me a concentration check, Kiara, for the animals, and Cass for the bless. Texas, it's your
11
turn.
for the bless.
11 for the bless.
How much damage does that do to our snakes?
That's a good question. I'll look up how many hit points they have.
Just so you know, that Dispel Magic was off my mandolin, so I can't cast Dispel Magic again. That's it for me.
Got it.
So.
And the mandolin ring.
Got it.
Yep.
All right.
So.
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
I got to get this figured out.
Yeah.
Kiara, what was your concentration check?
15.
Okay, that makes it. What is the HP of these snakes?
13.
13. Okay, so they're singed a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and give it an automatic pass. I'm going to say you just summon them a little bit away from you, but they're going to be singed a bit. Texas, it is your turn.
Okay, so since I cannot cast Dispel Magic again, what have I seen? Like, am I aware of this, like, beeping bomb thing that's outside? Or it already exploded? Is there another one? I'm a little confused.
Sure.
Like, there was the thing that was about to go off, but then it exploded, and then there was another one that exploded again, right?
Okay. You have no idea.
Okay.
The trade-off I'm giving is that when you walked into this dome, you were able to handle the Bob situation, but you left that world behind.
Got
the
it.
world of
Okay.
bombs and explosions and robots.
Okay.
If you would like to stick your head out and look.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, so if I dash action with my movement, I can get 60 feet of movement out of there, and I could still cast a bonus action, correct?
You don't even have to dash. All you have to do is step out of the hut.
Okay, so I'm gonna move. Yeah, but nobody can answer me is the problem. Because I can't assess and then have people tell me what's going on.
As you walk out of the hut.
So I'm gonna step outside the hut and see what I see.
Okay. There are no robots beeping. There's one robot that's right next to the hut door, and it's standing there perfectly still. As you stick your head out, it's standing there staring at where the hut is. It's not even looking at you. It's looking past you.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout to Cass. I need your help. And I'm gonna say, I don't want to say too much in front of the network, but I'm going to point inside and I'm going to point to his head. Because she knows that there's magic stuff here, and I'm hoping that she'll pick up enough from that.
Mm-hmm.
And do I see anything else that there's anything I could do anything about? That's the thing. I'm not sure what I can intuit from what I'm seeing. There's just a robot outside, but it's not moving aggressively.
It's staring at the entrance of the hut.
You know, it's probably the one that attacked you on your way in.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't want to meta too hard here.
I don't think this is meta. I think you could just assume that this is the one that followed you close.
Got it. Shoot, I don't have a lot that I can do to it though. I'll at least just hit it. Might as well.
Thank you, Moswald. Just gave Turk a +5 to a roll.
+5, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Moswald. Yeah, you know, there's nothing else I can do right this second. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit it.
Do it. Do it.
I don't have a lot to hit it with, but I'm gonna hit it with what I got. It's with my dagger. It's a 19 to hit.
19 hits. Roll damage.
And that is a. Oh, do I still have the extra D4 on damage? Is that gone?
Attacks and saving throws.
Oh, it's attacks. Never mind. Okay, so that's a 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage to the robot standing outside.
And the snake eyeball.
Good. You doing anything with your bonus action?
No.
Okay. That is her turn. Texas's turn. The Augie in front of Texas is going to. You just stuck your head outside the door, right? Like your head in your hand, like you just took.
No,
like,
she said she stepped out.
She stepped out. As she steps out, it's going to shove her to the side and try to make its way inside the hut.
This is the one that I commanded.
Oh, it is the one you commanded. Yeah, it does exactly that. It separates itself from the server.
Does it continue to act autonomously?
It does.
Oh, mother.
With the last action that it was granted. So it's going to shove Texas off to the side. Texas, that is a 14 against your AC.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. No, 15. Yes.
Okay. You are able to stand your ground, and it is unable to shove you to the side as it begins to try to maneuver past you to get inside to where the tent is. Cass, your turn.
2 questions. Am I within 5 feet of the hut? And is the 5-foot step mechanic still in 5e, like it was in 3.5, or is it gone?
Define 5-foot step mechanic.
The 5-foot step mechanic is essentially allowing you to sacrifice your entire move action in any type in your round in order to make a singular 5-foot movement away from your attacker and get away from an attack of opportunity that you would invoke otherwise.
You can choose to use your action in 5e to disengage. I'm going to spend my entire action to disengage from this combat. I don't want it to hit me, but it'll take your entire action to do so. Or
not just the move action?
Not just the move. Like, the disengage is just to get yourself out of combat range with it, and then you use your movement to keep moving past.
I see. Okay. Am I within 5 feet of the hut is the other question. Okay. And I am now in a foot race with an autonomous, disconnected Augie to the door.
Augie is trying to make its way to the door.
Oh, God. How close is it?
I will say that it is 5 feet away from you.
Okay.
Texas is holding it back.
All right. Then I will... Wait, it's focused on Texas, not on me?
It is not focused on you. It is focused on Texas.
So I would not invoke an attack of opportunity if I moved away from it.
No, you would not.
Okay. In that case, I'm going back in. I'm going inside.
Okay. Cass heads back.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Cass heads back inside. You are back inside the hut, and Bob is standing there.
And then she pointed at his head, right?
Texas pointed at his head.
Then I will focus on the top of his head wherever she pointed, since I don't actually know where it is, and cast Dispel Magic.
All right.
At
what level?
Yeah. Second. Let me make sure of that. Wait, where'd it go? No, third.
Third level Dispel Magic. Yeah. The spell automatically fades. There is a flickering behind Bob's eyes. That smile is there. And then that smile is no longer there. And Bob nods at you and says, "Thank you, Cass. Your endeavor is appreciated."
What'd I do?
Turk. We're back to you.
I am taking special action with my bow and aiming directly for the knee of this
thing that's trying to make its way past Texas. Perfect.
Yep. And so I'm going to be rolling at disadvantage. 17 and 9 plus. I'm going to go ahead and take my +5 to my roll on that just because.
Okay.
And actually, that's going to give me a 23.
23 hits. Roll damage.
And that's going to be 10 points of damage to that.
Okay. To the Augie that's standing outside?
Yes.
Yep.
And I'm going to take a second shot at that knee as well. And that's a 19 on the die. I've got a 19 and a 20, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
And which is a critical hit.
That is a critical hit. Roll double damage on this for me.
12 plus 4 is going to be. Oh, let me roll my. I didn't transfer Hunter's Mark.
I would say you transferred your Hunter's Mark. Go ahead and roll double on the Hunter's Mark too.
Plus 5 is 17. So that's going to be 34 plus 4. No, wait. No, I lied. I rolled 2 dice, which for the double damage on that. Or do I just... I got a 6 and a 6 on the 2 dice I rolled for the double damage.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to roll 2 dice, or do I'm sorry.
No, that'll
so
work.
That was the 12. So that's 10 plus 12 is 22 plus 4 is 26.
That's still going to do it. This particular Augie falls down as well. Hitting the ground, and it begins to beep. Rather loudly. William, you got to beep an Augie.
All right. I will use my... can I use my attack to try and bat it away from the air?
I would say... Are you going to hit it like with a rolled-up newspaper?
Like,
what are you doing?
No, I'm going to use the flat side of my sword.
Oh, okay.
Like the flat, instead of like slicing through it, flat side it.
Yeah, you're just hitting it away. Give me...
He's hockeying it.
Give me an attack roll. Like a hockey roll, like here, right now.
Okay. So that is... 19?
19 will hit. You are able to just like line up your shot, look, and it turns into a golf shot. You just look, you square your shoulders, it's all in the hips. You bring your sword up and down, and you are able to scoot this robot close to the... Can I play cricket with a downed robot? Yes, you can, Oswald. Over towards this small dumpster. The robot harmlessly explodes upon impacting the dumpster. And you are all officially out of combat.
Yay! The first thing I can do with anyone that's around is I'm gonna start just obliterating my spell slots to get everybody back up to stable.
Okay, so you're walking out of the hut.
No, actually, no, because I need to wait to see if Bob answers me.
Okay. What did you ask Bob?
What did I do?
He comes over to you and he does something very human. He holds out both of his hands to you.
Is there anything in his hands?
Nope, just his hands.
I'll just put my hands in his, I guess.
You did the right thing. Does a 19 hit?
Yes.
You know darn well it does.
You take 8 points of lightning damage. That courses through your body. Are you still up?
I'm making death saving throws now.
Cass is knocked unconscious. Bob walks out of the room and says, Cass has fallen. We need help. Cass has fallen.
I'm running inside and I'm going to cast only got one of these. So I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on her.
Okay. Bob is
It's a 3rd level.
As Bob says this, Bob runs past Turk, Jay, William, and Kiara and just starts screaming for help. Help! Help! Cass has fallen. One of the heroes has fallen. Help! Help! And just
hearing this, I also would have dashed into the hut.
Turk runs into the hut.
Where is he going?
He is running towards the large group of individuals on the far end. Like, it's almost like he's running towards where Evie is.
It was 20 points of healing.
20 points of healings. Cass, you are back up. You do not make death saving throws. With that, Texas runs in, and you feel the Cure Wounds magic encircling you, and it is all, you are up and breathing at this point. As Bob continues to run and gather people, he grabs a couple of Garys and sends them running back towards the hut. He grabs
Where's Roach?
Evie. Give me a perception check, Kiara.
Oh, crap. 25.
25. Roach is by the dumpster where that robot exploded, and she's starting to like scavenge it for parts.
Okay. I'm just gonna, my snakes are still up, and I'm still gonna hold concentration on those.
Yep.
I'm just going to have my snakes kind of watch her to make sure she's okay.
Okay. Turk's in the
How's my memory after? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you remember everything. Texas is in the booth. Turk is in the hut. Kiara is using the snakes to move about the space. Jay and William, what are you doing during this time?
Checking to see if anybody else was in danger. That the snakes were coming to see if there were anything else about.
Yeah, you're hunting for anything that's still moving about the space.
Yeah, moving away from the hut.
Moving away from the hut. Jay.
I would have been helping William.
Yeah, you two start scanning for anything that's still alive, and you do see some of those robots twitching, but enough of the people in the clearing have been able to circumnavigate them and sort of corral them. A large group of people is pushed. You see tons of people forming inside the hut, outside, like around the edges of the door of the hut, because they've been told that someone is hurt. And so more and more people are gathering around the entrance to the hut. William and Jay, it's enough for you to notice that the entrance to the hut is being swarmed.
Right. So, okay, can I make an insight check against the? Because now, I mean, it seems like they're being corralled in, not just being called in.
Absolutely. You can make this a disadvantage then.
Okay, so a 10 and a 20. The 10 would be a 19 total.
Yep, they're being corralled. Some like Bob is pushing them for some reason in this direction.
All right, I yell out to Bob, what's going on, Bob?
Hey, William. Bob number 2 is standing there. I'm fine.
And the other Bob?
That other Bob is continuing to move through the crowd.
He's running off?
No, he's walking at a normal speed, talking to people, and just being like, we were attacked. We were attacked.
Yeah, but nobody else should be able to get in that hut except for people that I say.
Absolutely.
But the door is swarmed.
No one is allowed to get into the hut.
So
you're cut off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cass?
I'm probably on my knees next to Cass right now.
Yeah.
The other
Just
Bob
checking
is
to see how she's
inside
doing.
the
I
hut?
understand she's
Nope,
been
he's
healed,
outside. You didn't let him in. You connected the wire outside.
No. I'm sorry. The original Bob is still inside the hut. The
Bob?
only thing inside that hut is Bob right now. Right?
Bob 1 walked out and started
Okay.
yelling, "We need help." Bob 2 is standing outside the hut.
So there's no one in this hut.
Cass, who is on the ground, Texas, you are over Cass, and Turk is kneeling next to her on the other side of her.
Okay, we're the only ones inside. Got it.
Correct.
I was not understanding. Okay. But we cannot get out right now because it's swarmed.
At the moment, you could drop the spell. You could.
Yeah. But
Right now,
Other than that, yes.
right now,
Okay.
as you look out, there are a bunch of
I'm just trying to understand why they're swarming it. I don't understand why they're
Because
swarming.
they're trying to get into
Because
help.
Bob is manipulating them to stop anyone from coming out of the hut to catch him.
Yeah, so
Cass,
But you don't know that. Cass knows. I mean, I know
Cass is
that.
awake. Cass, what are the first words out of your mouth?
Catch that Bob!
The other Bob, the one that just left. Okay.
The one that requires catching.
Are you okay?
Right.
With that,
I would tell Jay that what I.
William and Jay begin to make their way through the crowd because something looks wrong. William and Jay begin to follow as Bob sends more and more people into this small clearing as Cass goes, "Catch that Bob!" And as William and Jay begin to follow suit to where he is, Bob turns around, looks at the two of you, nods his head, and you hear a beeping sound. That's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Okay.
We are going to catch up with what happens next as we figure out where to go next and what to do. The bomb has been defused for the most part, but I'm sure that solved all the problems. So we love you guys. We'll see you very, very soon. Indigo Connect, and hey, get lost. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for all the new follows, for everybody hanging out with us. Oh, dear wee things. Cecil Smash, thank you for joining us. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.